The date was March 14th, and Alex opened his banking app and stared at a number that should not have been possible. $214. That was everything. Not his emergency fund, because that was gone months ago. Not his investments, because those had been sold to cover rent. Just $214 from a salary of $48,000 a year. Every month money came in, and every month something took it. And for 6 years, Alex had no idea what was actually happening to his money until someone helped him conduct a financial autopsy. A financial autopsy is exactly what it sounds like. You examine the body, you look at the evidence, you identify the cause of death, and most of the time what you find is not what you expected. Because the killer is never the one thing you already knew about. The killer is the thing you ignored, justified, or simply never saw coming. I'm Vish, and welcome to Vish Invest, where we talk about money with real-life examples. No hype, no shortcuts, just the stuff that actually works. Today we are sitting at the examination table. Alex's finances are in front of us, and by the end of this video you will know the 3 things that actually killed his savings, and whether any of them are quietly killing yours right now. Before we begin the autopsy, let us establish the facts. Alex was not irresponsible. He was not addicted to anything. He did not have a gambling problem. He was not living in a mansion or driving an expensive car. He had a stable job, a modest apartment, 1 car payment, and what he believed was a reasonable lifestyle. On paper, nothing looked fatal. That is what made the cause of death so difficult to identify. The most dangerous financial killers are not the obvious ones. They are the ones that look completely normal, right up until they are not. The first thing the financial autopsy revealed was a pattern that began 6 years ago, so gradually that Alex never noticed it happening. When Alex was 24, he earned $32,000 a year, and he lived carefully with a small apartment, a basic car, and home-cooked meals most nights. He was not comfortable, but he was managing. Then he got a promotion, and his salary went from $32,000 to $38,000, a $500 increase per month after tax. And almost immediately, without any conscious decision, his spending went up by $480 a month. A slightly nicer apartment, slightly better restaurants, a gym membership, a streaming service. Each one individually reasonable, and combined, they absorbed almost every dollar of the raise. The next promotion came at 27, and from $38,000, his salary rose to $44,000, and the same thing happened again. Spending rose to match the income. By the time Alex was earning $48,000 a year at age 30, he was saving almost exactly as much as he had at $32,000, which was almost nothing. This is lifestyle creep, and it is responsible for more destroyed financial futures than any market crash, bad investment, or unexpected expense in history. It does not feel like a mistake. It feels like progress. It feels like you deserve it because you do. You worked hard and you got the raise, so why not enjoy it? The problem is that when every raise is absorbed by new expenses, your income grows, but your wealth does not. You end up running faster just to stay in the same place. Alex ran faster for 6 years and got to 30, earning 50% more than he did at 24, and had less to show for it than on the day he started. The forensic evidence shows that between 24 and 30, Alex received $52,000 in cumulative salary increases and saved approximately $4,200 of that. The remaining $47,800 went into a lifestyle that felt normal. That $47,800 invested consistently over those 6 years at an 8% average annual return would have been worth approximately $68,000 by the time Alex was 30. Instead, it was worth 0. That is the true cost of lifestyle creep. Not the money you spent, but the future the money could have built and never did. The second finding in the autopsy was more embarrassing than the first and far more preventable. The forensic examiner, which in this case was Alex with a spreadsheet and 3 hours on a Saturday, went through 12 months of bank statements and found something extraordinary. He was paying for 23 recurring charges every month, and he could name only 9 of them. The other 14 he either forgot he had, forgot he signed up for, or simply stopped noticing. The total was $347 a month, $4,164 a year, for services he mostly did not use. There was the music streaming service he signed up for during a free trial in 2021, the cloud storage plan he upgraded during a work project that finished in 2022, the premium tier of a fitness app he used for 3 weeks after New Year's and never opened again, the online learning platform he subscribed to in order to learn a skill he never learned, the news subscription that auto-renewed at a 40% price increase without a single notification. Each one between $4 and $22 a month, and each one invisible in isolation but combined $347 a month. Enough to have fully funded a $4,000 emergency fund in just under 12 months if every dollar had been redirected there instead. Here is what makes this cause of death particularly brutal. Alex was not a careless person with money. He thought about his finances and checked his account balance regularly. He just never conducted the autopsy. He never sat down and examined every recurring charge systematically because each one on its own looked survivable. It was only when the examiner laid them all out on the table at once that the total became visible and undeniable. The third finding was the one that hurt Alex the most, not because it was the biggest number, but because it was the most preventable and the most permanent. From age 22 to 30, Alex did not invest a single dollar consistently, not because he did not know he should, but because it never felt like the right time. At 22, he was paying off student debt, which was fair enough. At 24, the salary felt too low to start. At 26, he was saving for a holiday. At 27, he meant to set it up, but did not get around to it. At 28, there was an unexpected car repair. At 29, he told himself he would start in January, and January came and he did not start. This is the financial cause of death that leaves no physical evidence at the time it happens. The money is not taken from you, it simply never arrives, and you cannot see the damage until years later when you look at what should have existed and compare it to what does. Here is what the autopsy revealed in cold numbers. If Alex had invested just $200 a month from age 22 to age 30, 8 years, into a simple index fund averaging 8% annual returns, he would have had approximately $27,000 by age 30. That does not sound life-changing, but the $27,000 left untouched and compounding for another 30 years until retirement at 60 would have grown to approximately $270,000 without a single additional contribution. The 8 years of $200 a month that Alex did not invest cost him not $19,200, which was the actual money he did not put in. It cost him $270,000 at retirement. That is the compound interest gap. That is what delay actually costs. Not the amount you do not invest, but the future that amount would have built compounding in silence for decades that simply ceases to exist. 3 causes of death. All preventable. All invisible until examined. None of them dramatic, and none of them the kind of story that makes the news. No fraud, no market crash, no sudden catastrophic mistake. Just 6 years of lifestyle absorbing every raise, 14 subscriptions quietly draining $347 a month, and 8 years of compound interest that never started. The most important finding from Alex's financial autopsy was not what killed his savings. It was that none of it required a crisis to fix. It only required an examination. Lifestyle creep is reversed by one decision made once and deliberately, that the next raise gets split with half going to lifestyle and half going to wealth every single time without exception. The subscriptions are eliminated in one Saturday afternoon with a bank statement and a spreadsheet. The compound interest gap starts closing the day you start, not the day you feel ready, not the 1st of next month, not January today. Alex conducted his financial autopsy at 30 and found 3 things that had been killing his savings for 6 years and fixed all 3 within 30 days. By 31, he had a $4,000 emergency fund for the first time in his life, a recurring investment of $300 a month set up automatically, and a monthly subscription audit he runs every 6 months without fail. The savings did not die permanently. They just needed someone to finally examine the body. The question is not whether your savings are healthy. The question is whether you have ever actually checked, because the most dangerous financial condition is not a crisis you can see. It is a slow bleed you cannot feel until the day you open your banking app and stare at a number that should not have been possible. I'm Vish. This is Vish Invest. If this video made you think of something in your own finances, hit the like button and let us know in the comments which of the 3 causes of death you recognized in yourself. And next, go watch our video on the money game 95% of people lose. It is on your screen right now. I will see you there.